For 14 years, my husband Marcus believed I contributed nothing to our marriage. I never corrected him. While he explained to dinner guests how he built everything from scratch, I documented every bank transfer, every forged signature, and every property, purchased with my inheritance, that he'd convinced me to keep in his name for tax purposes. The camera in my office captured more than home security footage. It recorded the truth. I returned from my mother's funeral to find Marcus had redecorated. The living room furniture I'd inherited was gone. In its place sat a white leather sectional and a woman named Sienna, wearing my grandmother's earrings. Those were in my jewelry box, I said. Marcus didn't look up from his phone. Sienna needed something nice for the charity gala. You never wear them anyway. Sienna smiled with too many teeth. Mark says you're not really the jewelry type. I set my suitcase down. The hallway mirror showed a woman in a wrinkled black dress, 43 years old, recently orphaned, and suddenly exhausted. I wore them to my mother's funeral yesterday. Well, you're home now, Marcus said. Sienna's moving into the guest room, temporarily. There was no question in his voice. No apology, just the same tone he used when rearranging investments or dismissing my opinions at dinner parties. I had stopped arguing years ago because lost battles become habits, and habits become who you are. I moved my things into my office that evening. The room had been my father's before he died, and the one space Marcus never entered because it smelled like old books. On the mahogany desk sat 3 identical accordion folders. Inside was every financial document from our marriage. My lawyer had organized them by category: property, inheritance, fraud. The camera on the bookshelf blinked its small red light. Recording, as it had been for 8 months. The following Tuesday, Marcus hosted a dinner party. 12 of his business associates crowded around the dining table. I'd bought with my first book advance. Nobody mentioned that I'd written 3 published novels. Most of them didn't know I wrote at all. Sienna sat in my chair at the table's head, describing her vision for remodeling the kitchen. My kitchen. In my grandmother's house that Marcus had transferred into his name the week after we married, when I was too in love to read paperwork carefully. We're thinking marble countertops, she said. Italian tile, really elevate the space. Robert Chen, Marcus's accountant, turned to me. What do you think about the remodel? I think marble stains easily, I said. Marcus laughed, the sound sharp and performative. Rebecca doesn't have opinions on property improvements. She doesn't actually own anything. He gestured around the room. The house, the cars, the investment properties, all in my name. Built from my income. Sienna touched his arm, claiming him with her fingertips. I felt no fresh pain. Humiliation becomes background noise when you've heard it in every key signature. I refilled water glasses, useful and invisible, and my sleeve caught on Robert's briefcase. The folder I'd been carrying slid across the table. Papers scattered across the Italian linen, another purchase from my inheritance. Marcus's face shifted. What is that? Property records, I said, gathering the document slowly. From the county assessor. Robert Chen picked up the top page, his accountant's eyes scanning automatically. He stopped smiling. Marcus, when did you say you purchased this house? 2009, right after the market crash. I got it for a steal. Robert turned the document toward him. This deed shows the property was transferred to you in 2010. From Rebecca Morrison. He looked at me. Your maiden name? The room quieted. My grandmother died in 2009, I said. She left me this house and 4 rental properties in her will. Marcus suggested we put everything in his name, for tax purposes. I pulled another paper from the pile. This is the deed to the lake house, also from my inheritance. Another document. The duplex on Morrison Street. My grandfather built it in 1952. Marcus's hand moved toward the papers, but Robert was already reading. These transfers show no purchase price, Robert said quietly. They're gifts, marital property, transfers. He looked at Marcus, with the careful expression people use when watching someone drown. Marcus, if Rebecca owned these properties before marriage and transferred them to you. For tax purposes, Marcus repeated. His voice had thinned. Then legally, in this state, she has a claim to equitable distribution, especially if her inheritance funded the transfers. Robert set the papers down gently, as if they were evidence at a crime scene. Who paid the property taxes these past 14 years? I did, Marcus said. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. Turned the screen toward Robert. These are automatic payments from my trust fund. Every year. Property taxes on all 5 properties, I scrolled down. And the homeowner's insurance. And the maintenance fees on the rental properties. Sienna's hand slipped from Marcus's arm. The rental income, I continued. Deposits into an account under Marcus's name. But the operating expenses, repairs, management fees, legal costs, those come from my account. I pulled up another screen. I have 14 years of transfers, categorized, time-stamped. Robert's expression moved from professional concern to something colder. Marcus, did you report the rental income on your taxes? Marcus's silence answered. And did you claim the expenses that Rebecca paid? I need to speak with my lawyer, Marcus said. Good idea, I said. I spoke with mine 6 months ago. That evening, Marcus found me in my office. He tried to apologize, but I stopped him. Not tonight. Tonight you're entertaining your guests.